So I hope you've already attempted these questions and now you're ready to check how you would have done if this was the test that you were supposed to write. So it's very important for you to honestly gauge yourself and see, okay, this is how much I would have gotten. Then you'll be able to improve on it or do something about it. Right, so let's get into it. So question 1. During a class period, the number of ladies is 10 more than 4 times the number of men. Determine the number of men and that of ladies in a class if altogether there are 100 students in the class. Use matrix inverse method. So that one, first you have to say X. This is the number of men, where it represents the number of men. And then Y, this is the number of ladies. Okay, then what are we told? We are told that the number of ladies is 10 more than 4 times the number of men. So you need to multiply the number of men, which is X, by 4, and then add 10, and then this will be equal to the number of ladies. Then we are also told that altogether there is 100 students in the class. So the number of men plus the number of ladies is 100. So this is what we have. Now when solving these equations, like we've done so many times, first thing, we must align the x's, align the y's, and the variables or the constants on the other side. So you will have 4, I didn't do that. So we have 4x minus y. This is equal to minus 10. And then we have x plus y. This is equal to 100. So x column, y column, and constants on this side. Then you put this in matrix form, minus 1, 1, 1, x, y. This is equal to minus 10 and 100. Okay, now we have to find the inverse because this is A, that's X is equal to B. So we need to find A inverse to multiply here and there and then solve for X. So the determinant of A, this is 4 times 1 minus 1 times minus 1. So you do this on your calculator for minus 1 times minus 1. This is a simple one. You don't even need a calculator. And you get 5. Okay, then now you find your A inverse. This is 1 over 5. Multiply it by this 2, switch positions. And then these 2, you multiply them by negative 1. Okay, this gives us 1 over 5, 1 over 5 minus 1 over 5, and then 4 over 5. Okay, and now you multiply the inverse on both sides of this equation. So you have 1 over 5 minus 1 over 5, 1 over 5, 4 over 5. And 4 minus 1, 1, and 1. Okay, and then you have x, y. This is minus 10, and we have 100 over there. Sorry, you need to put your inverse matrix first. That's 1 over 5, 1 over 5, minus 1 over 5, 4 over 5, and then this one now, minus 10 and 100. Now here, when we multiply row with columns, we will get the identity matrix. Okay, so you'll get the identity matrix, and the identity matrix multiplied by this one just gives X and Y. Then on this side, we'll have 1 over 5 times minus 10 plus 1 over 5 times 100, which you can do on your calculator. 1 over 5 so negative 10 plus 1 over 5 times 100. Okay, this gives us 18. And then we do the same thing for the other one, row with the column, negative 1 over 5 times negative 10 plus 4 over 5 times 100. Okay, this gives us 82. And then comparing these two matrices, we can say X is 18 and Y is 82. So now you have to remember what the question said. The question said, what is the number of, determine the number of men and that of ladies in the class. So you should end by saying there are 18 men and 82 ladies in the class. In the class. Okay, next question. Use Cramer's rule to solve the following. Let's copy this question here. Okay, so we have to use Cramer's rule to solve this. The matrix is already nicely aligned. We just have to write it in matrix form, or the equations are nicely aligned. So this is 1, 2, 1, 1, 5, 7, 1, minus 2, minus 7. Then here we have X, Y, Z. This is 8, 3, minus 18. Okay, so you form your three matrices. A is 1, 2, 1, 1, 5, 7, 1, minus 2, minus 7. And then you form your matrix AX. This is 8, 3, minus 18, 1, 5, 7, 1, minus 2, minus 7. Then we form a Y. It says 1, 2, 1, 8, 3, minus 18, and 1, minus 2, minus 7. And then our last matrix, AZ, just write it here, AZ, this is 1, 2, 1, 1, 5, 7, 8, 3, minus 18. Okay, now for each of these matrices, you need to work out their determinants. So with matrix A, the determinant, I'm going to go across row 1. So you put the signs, it's a plus, minus, and a plus. So with 1, say 1 multiplied by 5 times negative 7. This is negative 35. And then minus 7 times negative 2, which is minus 14. Then this negative here, and then this 1 here. Just write it there. And then you remove the row and the column where this 1 is. So say 2 times negative 7, which is negative 14, minus 1 times negative 2. So that's minus negative 2. And then the last one will be a plus because of this plus there. So it's 14. There's a 1 there. Say 14 minus, remove row, column, 14 minus 5. Okay, so this you can just type in on your calculator. We have negative 35 minus negative 14 minus negative 14. Okay, I think my calculator will give me a problem with this sign here. Okay, minus negative 14 minus negative 2 plus 14 minus 5. Okay, and the answer is 0. Okay, then you do the same thing with this one here. The determinant of AX just move this down. Doesn't want to go down, that's fine. So the determinant of AX. So if we go along the first row, so this is 8 multiplied by negative 35 minus negative 14. And then there's plus, minus, plus, and there's the negative 1. Then move the row and the column. This is minus 21 minus 18, negative 18 times negative 2 is positive 36. And then the last one is plus because of that plus, so it's 1. And then we have 21 minus 18 times 5 is 90. It's negative 90. So it's 21 minus negative 90. Okay, then this again you can do on your calculator. So we have 8 negative 35 minus negative 14 minus 1 times negative 21 minus 36 plus 21 minus negative 90. Okay, this also gives us 0. Okay, then AY. The same thing, you can go along a row and a column, whichever one you prefer. So this is 1 multiplied by negative 21 minus 36, and then plus, minus, plus. Next one will be negative because of this negative there. Then we have 8 negative 14 minus negative 2, then plus because of that plus there. We have 1 negative 2 minus negative 14. Okay, then you work this out. Okay, so we have negative 21 minus 36 minus 8 times negative 14 minus negative 2 plus negative 2 minus negative 14. Okay, this one is 51. Then our last determinant, okay, if we go along the first row, this one is 1 multiplied by 5 times 80 negative, that's negative 90, minus, so remove the row in the column, minus 21. Then the next one is negative because of that negative, so it's negative 1. The brackets can be there, but they're not really that important. Remove this row in that column, so this is negative 36 minus 3, and then we have 8, 14 minus 5. So do this on your calculator. Negative 90 minus 21 minus negative 36 minus 3 plus 8 times 14 minus 5. And this is 0. So I don't know, check this one again. Maybe it's also supposed to be 0 because everything else is giving me 0. It might not be 0, but it's a good idea to check. So we said, let's just quickly do it again. The answer could also be 51. So we have 7 times negative 1 minus 18 times 2 minus, here the brackets are needed. We have minus 14 minus negative 2 plus negative 18 times 2 minus 3 times 1. Okay, this time I'm getting minus 84. Just see, did I write it correctly here? Okay, 7 times negative 7 times 3, then minus, okay, this is fine. Then minus 8, negative 14, and minus negative 2, that's fine. And then the last one we have 2 times, so we remove this row and this column, so it should be negative 36. The last one here is the one that's not right. So remove the row and remove the column. So we have minus 36. So it's this one times that one, minus 3. Okay, let's try it one more time. The brackets here are not that important. So there's a plus here. Again, these brackets here are not that important. Okay, now I'm getting 72. Okay, so whatever the answer is, you can again triple check with your calculator. Make sure you type them in correctly. The next step would be to find x. X is the determinant of ax over the determinant of a. Here we would be dividing by 0. So this is undefined. This one here. So all of them essentially we are dividing by 0. I'm getting 72 divided by 0. Again, this is undefined. So as soon as I got the determinant of A as 0, I knew that the answer was, there was no one solution. But I carried on to do it just to go through the whole procedure of solving it. So this is undefined. Okay, so maybe there was a mistake in the question, but that is the procedure for solving it. So this is 7 marks. So I would want to see some type of procedure in doing this question and not just find the determinant of A and then say there's no solutions. Just go through the procedures, even though we know we won't get an actual answer. Okay, so we can leave that one there. Then the next one, just okay, use Cramer's rule to, I didn't copy the right one. Let's see now. Yes. Okay, given the system of linear equations, 3 over a plus 4 over b is equal to 5, and 6 over b is equal to a plus 2 over a, write this in matrix form. So first thing, you need to align your variables. So this is 3 over a plus 4 over b is equal to 5. And then this one here, we can simplify it. This is 6 over b. We have a over a plus 2 over a. So this one here can go to that side. So we have 2 over a minus 6 over b. And a over a is 1. So this one can go to the other side and become negative 1. So I write this first. This is 2 over a minus 6 over b. This is equal to negative 1. And now here, our variables are not a and b. Our variable is 1 over a and 1 over b. Now we write them in matrix form. Okay, so we put 3, 4, 2, minus 6. And like I said, it's not a, it's 1 over a, and this is 1 over b. And this is equal to 5 and minus 1. Okay, that's the first question. Then use Cramer's rule to solve. So you need to come up with your 3 matrices. We have A, we have 3, 2, 4, minus 6. Then we have A, 1 over A. This is, instead of 3, 2, you write 5 minus 1. Then we have 4 minus 6. And then A, 1 over B. If 3, 2, instead of 4 minus 6, we put 5 minus 1. Okay, then you find the determinants of each of these matrices. Determinant of A, this is 3 times minus 6, which is minus 18, minus 8, which is equal to minus 26. Then the determinant of A, 1 over A. This is 5 times minus 6, which is minus 30, then minus negative 4. This is also minus 26. Then the determinant of A, 1 over B. This is 3 times negative 1 minus 10. This is minus 13. So now to solve for 1 over A, this is the determinant of 1 over the determinant of A. So minus 26 over minus 26, this is 1. So we have 1 over A is equal to 1. This means that A is equal to 1. And then to find 1 over B, we have the determinant of A, 1 over B over the determinant of A. This is negative 13 over 26, which is negative, over that, which is positive 2. So this means 1 over B is equal to 2, and this means that, sorry, not 2, this is half. This is half. So this means that B is equal to 2. So we've solved for A and B. Okay, that's what the questions say to do, right? Then 2.2, for what values, the question is supposed to read for what values of X, or find the values of X that makes matrix A singular. Okay. Okay, so this is just a matter of remembering what singular means. So singular means no inverse. And no inverse means that the determinant is equal to 0. So all you have to do is find the determinant of A and equate it to 0. So for a 2 by 2 matrix, it's very easy. Major diagonal minus the minor diagonal equate to 0. So you have X times X minus 3 times 3 is 0. It means X squared minus 9 is equal to 0. This means X squared is equal to 9. X is plus or minus 3. So there are two values of X that make this matrix singular. If X is minus 3 or if X is 3. Okay, question 2.3. Keeps doing this. Okay, so here we're given matrix M and matrix N. We are to determine MN transpose without working out the product first. So this one is just testing your knowledge. Do you know that MN transpose, this is equal to N transpose M transpose? Okay, so you'll transpose them, change the order, and then multiply. Okay, so we're testing, do you know the properties of transposes? So what you're supposed to do is first find the transpose, and N must come first. So N transpose, this is 1, 1, 3, 2. M transpose, This is 3420. Okay, and then we multiply rows with columns. So here I have 3 plus 12, and then row with column. So that's 2 plus 3 times 0. And then this one times that one. This is 3 plus 8. Then this one times that one. That's 2 plus 0. And your answer, 15, 2, 11, and 2. That is your transpose of the product. So you can also try it first just to check if your working is right. Multiply, then take the transpose. You should still get this. But this question specifically, we want you to do it in this way. We're testing, do you know the properties? Okay, for the last question, you need to make sure that you read it correctly, you understand what it is asking you for, and you label your variables correctly. So here, what we're trying to find out is how much of the pork and beef are we supposed to use. So your variable X, this is the number of kgs of beef, and Y, this is the number of kgs of pork. Okay, so your variables must be correct. All right. Then the next step is your objective function. So your objective is to minimize the cost. So we say C. Now the cost of beef is $3 per kg. So we have 3 multiplied by how many kgs we're using on the beef. So the cost on beef here, just highlighting it. So this will be 3x plus 4y. This is my total cost. 3 kg per kg. Sorry, $3 per kg. So how many kgs do I have? Multiply that by 3. And how many kgs do I have multiplied by 4? That will give me the total cost. And we want to minimize. And now our constraints. The first one is that each serving should weigh at most 8 kg. So this is a constraint on the serving. And you need to remember, at most means that is the maximum. And the serving is made up by a number of kgs of beef plus a number of kgs of pork. And it must be at most 8. So that means 8 is the maximum. It must be less than or equal to 8. Then this one about the 29 centimeters cubed of fat and 20 centimeter cubed of mince. What you can do if you're not sure is you can write it like this. So you can have the beef and the pork, and then write the fat and the mince. Okay, in the beef, where's the beef? Okay, so the beef contains 3 fat and 4 mince. The pork contains 5 fat and 2 mince. Okay, now we have a restriction on the fat. Okay, what is the restriction? That it should be at least 29. So at least that means that is the smallest amount. And what we do is we say 3 centimeters cubed of fat multiplied by how many you are given. So this is per kilogram. In 1 kilogram, there's 3. So how many kilograms of beef are you giving? X, so 3 times X plus the fat from the pork, 5 times y. This must be at least, so that means it must be greater than or equal to 29. Okay, and then there's also a restriction on the mins. There's 4x plus 2y. This must be at least 20. Okay, then of course we have our non-negative constraints. We have x and y are both greater than or equal to 0, right? So in the question, the scale is given, so you must use that specific scale. You can't use a different scale than the one that is given, okay? But here, because my graph paper is limited, I'm going to see what fits and then plot that. So our points, we have 0, 8, and 8, 0. Here we have 0, and 5.8. And then the other one will be, this is 0. That gives 9.7. It's 9.666 and so on. Then here, if x is 0, that means y is 10. And if y is 0, then this means that x is 5. Okay, so looking at these points, a scale of counting in ones will be the most appropriate. Okay, so on your graph paper, remember, use whatever scale you are told to use on the question paper, but here I'm just using this one so that everything fits. Okay, so we start with our first point, 0, 8, and 8, 0. Then, okay, let's see. Okay, so we have 0, 8, and 8, 0. Then you take your ruler and you connect the 2 points with a straight line. Okay, then you need to label the line. This is x plus y is equal to 8. Now you need to decide, are you going to shade above or below? Remember what you want, x plus y must be less than or equal to 8. So if I pick the origin, 0 plus 0 is 0. That's less than 8. That's what I want. So when I picked a point below the origin, it gave me what I wanted. So above is not wanted. You shade it out. Okay, then the next one is 0.0 and 5.8. So we have 0 and 5.2468. And then we have 9.72446, so somewhere there. And then again, you take a ruler and connect the 2 points. Okay. Okay, and then you label your line. This is 3x plus 5y is equal to 29. So you pick a point, let's say the origin, substitute, you have 0, 0. This is, you want this to be greater than or equal to 29. Okay, below the line gives us what we don't want, so this is shaded out. Just read that to be sure I read it correctly. should be at least 29. So greater than or equal to 29. It's fine. Okay, and then we have the line 0, 10. So this one 0, 10, and then 5, 0. Then you take your ruler and you connect the 2 points. Okay, something like that. Okay, so you need to decide, are you shading this side or that side? Again, the origin 0, 0. Is that greater than? No. So this part here is shaded out. Okay, then your non-negative constraints, they're already shaded out, and this is your feasible region. So with the scale that you're given, you should have it a little bit bigger than what I have over there. Okay, label your feasible region, and then you need to represent your objective function. So to do that, write this in standard form. So we say y is equal to negative 3 over 4x plus c over 4. So to draw that one, what you do is just going to use a different color. In the test, you don't need to use a different color. So you pick any point on the y-axis, and then what you do is you are going to move with a gradient. So here we have m is equal to negative 3 over 4. So this is delta y over delta x. So you're moving 3 units down. So you start at 5, move 3 units down, 1, 2, 3, and then you move delta x, which is 4 units to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. Then these 2 points, you connect them with a broken line. Okay, so your broken line is that one there. And make sure that your line is labeled. So C is equal to 3x plus 4y. Okay, and then your points here, this one, that is 3, 4. Then the other vertex here, that looks like 2, 6. And then the last one over here, this looks like 5.4 and 2.246. 2.6. Now, because this is kilograms, it definitely can be a fraction. So what is the question saying? Determine how the diet should be prepared for a minimum cost. Okay, so that one, you can work out which one gives you the minimum cost. So our cost, this is 3x plus 4y. So you can do that even on your calculator and only show the working for the one that gives you your answer. So it's 3 times 3 plus 4 times 4. This one gives us 25. Then we have this one, 3 times 2 plus 6 times 4. This one gives us 30. And then we have 3 times 5.4 plus 4 times 2.6. Okay, this gives us 26.6. So this one gives us 26.6. And the minimum is obviously this one. So you can say minimum cost. This is 3. You're just substituting the x coordinate there. Plus 4 times 4. So notice these others, I just did them on the calculator and I didn't solve them. So then you say the minimum cost is 25. And then it says, how should it be prepared? It should be prepared using 3 kg of beef and 4 kg of pork. Okay, and that is how you would get all the marks in the test. I hope you did very well. Best of luck in the test.